What's good, YouTube? We are back again with another video, and today I have like a little Jordan 2 collection. So pretty dope. The latest release, I'll be honest with you, is one of the most important releases I think in quite some time, because it's a Jordan 2 that hasn't come out in its form like this since, I believe, 1995, right? That's when they retroed the Jordan 1, 2, and 3. Hey, what's up? And in doing so, and I believe the latest release had the piping on it, which wasn't accurate to how they originally released. This is one of my most prized possessions, and I'm not the biggest Jordan 2 fan. I want to put that out there. If you grew up in my era, Jordan 2s and Jordan 1s were not popular, right? Jordan 10s were not that popular because, of course, he never really played in them. I know he came back and played in them for a little bit, but he hated them himself. Obviously, he didn't like them because he switched them during the middle of a playoff series, right? And got fined for it. So there's certain sneakers that you just never really wore. You wore the championship shoes. So 6, 7, 8 were fairly popular when I was growing up. The 11, obviously, was always popular. The 12 and the 13 and the 14, always popular. The 13 was like super popular. So the Jordan 2 was never the most popular sneaker when I was growing up. Now it has so much hype, you have so many collabs, and of course Nike and Jordan Brand are pushing the advertisement and collabs and everything they could stick on a Jordan 2. There was a time when the Jordan 2s weren't like a thing. Now, like I said before, this is the latest Jordan 2, right? This Jordan 2 is phenomenal. Like, I love the sneaker, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys that this is one of my favorite sneakers of all time. It's not the case. But it's one of the most important sneakers to my collection because he primarily wore this during the 86, 87 season, right? And then that was his highest points per game. He averaged 37 points a game. He did some miraculous things in this Jordan 2, right? Now, also, it seems like this specific model and release is made a little bit different than the others, right? So I'm going to point that out as well. But I noticed right off the bat, this little section here by the ankle collar, is a lot puffier than any of the other Jordan 2s. Now, the padding have a really thick padding, but this one actually like sticks out, right? You can see it right there. This one actually has like extra padding on the collar, which when I show you the others, you'll see. But this one is one of my favorite releases of this year because they came out pretty much like the original, right? Some pairs I noticed were different, so I will probably do a separate review on this if you guys care. But the fact that this is a Chicago colorway, it's super dope. And then they brought back the 4 aglets in this one. Just to give you an example, right? The shoestrings on this are a lot longer than this one because it's actually an extra eyelet. And these eyelets, if you guys don't know, look very familiar, right? I mean, we have the Jordan 3 right here. So these little plastic pieces, we've seen this before, right? So let me show you some of my collection. I have 3 OGs, right? So let me show you the OGs. Pretty dope. This is obviously the first one. This is another OG, another fantastic OG in which he would wear in the All-Star game as well. I think he would wear these at home. I'm not going to say that this was a complete road Jordan 2, but I know there was times he would wear this at home. I'm not sure if I've ever seen him in these on the road. That's something to think about. If you have a picture or if you want to send me a link to a picture, if you see him wearing these and he was on the road, let me know. Because I think he primarily wore these at home. But this is another great Jordan 2. Again, he wore these in the All-Star game as well, in the 1987 All-Star game. And this one comes with the piping, right? So it has the gradient piping on it, black into red. Very dope, right? This is a very clean colorway. Remember I was telling you about the ankle, right? Still a lot of padding in the shoe, but there's no raise, right? It's a straight, flat, right across. And then this one, you see it there. So a little bit different. This one has the 3 eyelets, the plastic ones at least. And again, this one has the 4, which is more towards the original. Now the women's version has 3 eyelets as well. So pretty cool. And then we have my last original, which is the Jordan Low. This one does have the 4 eyelets, and he also wore this as well during that season. This one has the piping, so it's basically this version of the shoe, but it has the piping. A little bit different, but the leathers are pretty much the same. Now looking at it, now feeling it. One thing that is noticeably different is the perforations on the toe box are a lot bigger on the low than they are the high. Other than that, and besides the piping, pretty much the same type of leather, right? Even to the reptilian skin on this part. So pretty cool. They actually made this one pretty correct. They even have the Nike on the bottom, and they have the 9.5, which was the size that I used to be. And then this one has the same thing, right? I think a very slept on sneaker. So bringing it back, I bought these for like $70, I believe. They're like super on sale. And I bought the Chicago 1 Lows, no joke, for like $89. If you see what those prices go for now, you would probably cry. That's one sneaker I regret selling. If there were 3 sneakers I'd say I definitely regret selling, it's the Chicago 1 Low in a 9.5. Definitely regret selling that one. I also regret selling an Air Max 1 original colorway. It was a retro, but it was the 2017, the white and red. I regret selling that one. And then I regret selling the Kobe 9 What The. I put it up before he passed away, of course. I would most likely have kept everything. Kobe, that's another sneaker that I regret selling. But yeah, this is an original colorway. So we have 3 original colorways right here for you guys. Pretty clean. Right? This is what he would wear during the 1986-87 season. And then we have a few retros. This is the black and red version, pretty much to this one. So basically, if you just swap everything white on this and made it black, this is what you get. I like the sneaker. I think the Jordan 2 is really comfortable. Now, the technology in these apparently are different than these, because these have an air sole only in the heel, where these have a full-length air sole. So they made this one like the original, but the retros actually had better technology. Weird enough, they actually put more tech in these. Now, I think one day, eventually, we will get Jordan Protros. I don't know when, because I think as long as we're buying these with the crappy technology, there's no incentive to push it. But eventually, if people stop buying these, they're going to put like Zoom Air in a Jordan 11, right? And then you could play ball on them. You could not play ball on them. You could style them. But I think eventually we'll get a Jordan Protro. We will see. And then another great colorway. Now, I have 3 more retros. I think these are some of the better retros, period. This right here could have been an original release. This is the Jordan 2 Wings. Very clean, just a black and white colorway. Of course, the iconic poster. If I have a picture, I'll put it up. You even have Wing on the back. So this is one of my favorite Jordan 2s, man. This is just a clean Jordan 2, right? And then another popular Jordan 2 is the Carmelo Anthony's, right? This is a PE that was once made for Carmelo on his Denver Nuggets days. Matches his jersey perfectly. Hints of yellow throughout. I actually have this jersey. Looks so good with the jersey, so definitely a combination you could put with this. And then my last retro I'm going to show you is basically a version of a Chicago. The only difference really is the North Carolina and the MJ on the back, of course, and then the 4 eyelets or the plastic eyelets that we have on the newest retro versus this one. Pretty much the same sneaker other than that, right? So, fun story about this one. I believe this may have been 86 or 87, but he had a game in which it's an alumni game. So he went back to North Carolina and he rocked these. Like it was his own Jordan 2 with the hint of North Carolina. This is a first UNC to Chicago colorway. So now we get like iterations of that pretty much on Jordan 1s and Jordan, I think a couple other Jordans that had Chicago or UNC to Chicago iterations. But this is a real and original PE UNC to Chicago Jordan, right? Jordan 2. So super dope. Pretty much a Chicago colorway, but this right here just makes it a little bit more special. So super dope, man. I love Jordan 2s. It's not my favorite. I will say that. Jordan 1s aren't my favorite. I happen to have a lot of Jordan 1s because they make so many, but Jordan 1s are not my favorite Jordan, right? It just is what it is. Jordan 11s are my favorite. Jordan 3s are my favorite. Man, I even like the 12s, 13s, the 5s. Those are just some of my favorite, like, Jordans of all time. Jordan 2s aren't really up there. Jordan 10s aren't really up there. So maybe the Jordan 8s have gone down a little bit. But I'm super happy to have the 2s that I do have. I really don't want anymore, right? The only other original colorway I'm missing is the low top version of this one. I had a UNC version of the low top. I also sold that at one point. It's just a sneaker. It was hard for me to really wear. Plus, I have so many North Carolina inspired shoes. I still rock with Jordan 2s. Regardless on whether they're, you know, my favorite or not, I still love Jordans. I love every single model. Every single model has its own twist and its own story. So I appreciate every single model. Let me say that at least. The 2012 Jordan is really gross. But listen, it's not going to be a home run every time. Jordan 37, kind of shitty too. But again, it's not going to be a home run every time. But yeah, this is the Jordan 2 collection. Let me show you, if I can, the whole Jordan 2 collection here. Right? So we have the Jordan 2s. And I think I have some solid pairs, man. I think I have pretty good pairs that I probably don't need anymore. Right? What do you think? All right? Let me know how you feel about the Jordan 2. And on that note, we out. Peace.